I'm Shane Comer.
And I'm John Huntsman.
And today we're going to teach you about how the brain transfers knowledge. So, in our brain, there's the working memory, if you remember from before, in our last video. So your working memory is where your brain does all the work. So when we get new information, oftentimes it finds its way into our working memory. However, during a transfer, this new information meets up with our old information, and they combine. That's why it's called a transfer. Now these will leave as one piece of knowledge. So when they leave, this is our new transferred information, which we're going to use for our future experiences. So, when we learn, we have either a positive or a negative experience.
So a positive experience helps us in our future learning. However, a negative transfer will hinder us and make learning in the future more difficult. There are many different factors that can affect how we learn, but all of these factors fall under the environment that we establish with our students.
So, a teacher controls the environment of the schoolhouse. Now this environment is only one factor in transfer. When we learn, we need to understand. Now if we don't understand that 2 plus 2 equals 4, how can we understand more advanced equations like found in algebra? So this is called context and degree of understanding. If we don't understand, then we can't move on. We can't use what we don't understand from our old memory to combine it with our new memory. It's just kind of floating around because we learned it once, but we can't use it. Sometimes there are instances where things are so similar that we remember them. So let's say we learned how to swim in a swimming pool. When we go out to the pond to swim, do we forget how to swim? We don't. And the reason is the pond and the swimming pool are so similar to each other that we recognize this is still water. I still know how to swim in water. But there is something that's different. A pool is very geometric. It has a defined shape. A pond is a little bit more random. This difference that helps us to remember them is called a critical attribute. The pond will always recall as having plants, having fish, and the pool will recall as having concrete and chlorine. That is the critical attribute. Sometimes we don't necessarily remember things because they're similar, but because of something else.
This is called association. For example, when we remember mom, oftentimes we will also remember dad because we associate the two together. Likewise, if dad's name is Romeo, we associate that with mom's name of Juliet. Emotion is also a huge tie in memory. Let's say that we had a sad experience in math in 4th grade. Maybe we struggled or had a teacher that we didn't enjoy. That memory or an emotion can be transferred when we start 5th grade. And we may be sad simply because we go into the math classroom. All of these things tie to how we learn, and we can help control them as the teacher.
And that is how transfer works.